business. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in healthcare, labor regulation, energy regulation. I may wait. I might not. If I have an opportunity, I may hold back. All this growing uncertainty and hostility lends itself to holding back on job creation in our economy. Taxes. I don't know. Don't get me started on taxes, but 2010, 2011, they're going to be the mother of all tax years in tax reform. Not only do you have the expiration of Bush tax cuts, but you have this voracious demand for revenue at the federal level. We have been advocating for comprehensive corporate tax reform for years. Many of our members kind of get excited about the idea. Our tax code is awful. It's a mess. And our response has been, yes, we need comprehensive corporate tax reform, but understand that you could get in this environment, you could get a system that's fairer, clearer, cleaner, whatever adjective you want, but the last adjective is going to be more. Okay? There's this voracious demand for more revenue and more of your money. So whatever the system is, the system wants more of it. And again, this leads to uncertainty, worry, concern, everything that dampens down job creation. So, how do we as the U.S. Chamber, how do we as business leaders change this discussion, change this political environment, make the case that business is the answer and not the problem, that our future lies with free enterprise, that the way out of this morass that we found ourselves is to energize, incentivize free enterprise, job creation, hiring, growth. And we came to the conclusion last year that we need to start with the basics, go back to the beginning. Frankly, the U.S. Chamber, as I mentioned, had historically had a role of telling the story about why business is important. I have documents in my office from the 1930s and the 1940s saying, what is free enterprise? What is a market? And you can imagine telling the story about free enterprise in the 1930s. That was a tough thing to do. Frankly, as an institution, after the Berlin Wall fell, we thought we won the argument. We thought that people got it, that business is the answer, that free enterprise is the way forward. And what we found from polling, and particularly among young people, but the population in general, is we're losing that argument. People don't get it. People keep looking to the government to solve the problems. The government isn't going to employ all the people that need to be employed. That's going to be free enterprise. That's going to be the private sector. So we started just in October our campaign for free enterprise. This is, again, going back to basics of education, ads, advocacy, explaining what is the role of free enterprise in society and how it's important to you as an individual. Frankly, when you do polling about people, although there's some hostility to business, in an odd way, people appreciate individual opportunity. They want themselves to have opportunity, and they put business and government almost on the same side of the table against the individual. There's these businessmen and government are against me, and we have to take it back and say, no, free enterprise is your opportunities, your future your future and the future of your children is dependent upon the free enterprise opportunities you have. This is about you, not about business and government against you. Frankly, Danny's been great about being a great supporter of the campaign for free enterprise. We have just recently pulled it more specifically into a discussion about jobs and job creation. How are we going to get the jobs we need to get this economy moving again? We've estimated, and we have both external and internal economists who helped us with this, that we will need at least 20 million new jobs over the next 10 years. That's to re-employ the people who have lost their jobs, to better employ the underemployed, which is a significant problem in this country, and to incorporate all the people over the next 10 years who are going to be entering the workforce. 20 million new jobs over the next 10 years. It's a huge number, but we can do it. We have done it before at various parts in our economic history. But government isn't going to be the one to do that. If we need 20 million new jobs, if North Carolina, we've estimated, needs 1 million new jobs over the next 10 years, who's going to provide those jobs? It's not going to be government. It doesn't have the capacity, and it has to get the money from somewhere. It's got to be free enterprise, and we need to set the terms and the conditions so that free enterprise can create those jobs for the future. So we have this 20 million jobs challenge. People say, okay, how are we going to get there? What are we going to do to get to the 20 million jobs? There's a number of things we can do, but the first things we highlight are, one, let's focus on infrastructure investment. That's a good idea. That's a good place for government to play a role. And by the way, not just government. There's a lot of private sector money that can come to play in infrastructure development. That's not only investment in economic growth today, but economic growth tomorrow. Energy investments. This is one of those areas where we can pull some manufacturing back to the United States into those areas that traditionally had manufacturing. Let's make some investments in cutting-edge technologies. Let's do some things like nuclear that not only lend themselves to energy security, but also are carbon beneficial. North Carolina actually does pretty well on the nuclear side. You get, I think, about a third of your energy from nuclear. You can do more. The country can do more. Building a nuclear power plant with private money, by the way, employs something like 20,000 people. So let's get out of our own way. Let's get these plants approved. Let's get these plants built. Let's get this country moving again. Let's double our exports in 5 years. Again, big number, but we've done it before. How do we do that? We need fair, firm, verifiable trade agreements. And we need to find a way to engage the world as an opportunity and not as a threat. I think right now the world is a threat to jobs, and we got to see it that 95% of our future customers are going to be overseas. We need trade policies that engage the world as an opportunity. Good, smart financial regulation, not more regulation, but smarter, better regulation that incentivizes lending. And let's get the government lending programs moving again, SBA, EXIM, and others. And finally, let's get away from the stupidity. Okay? Let's get some of these things that are clearly creating uncertainty for business. Card check legislation, higher taxes, poor healthcare reform legislation. Let's get these things either off the table or resolved in a positive way so that business has certainty, business has predictability, business wants to invest again. If we do these things, we can get the economy moving in a positive direction. We can start creating jobs, and we can set the terms and conditions for the future for our children and our grandchildren. I want to end by showing our very recent ad that we're showing around the country on the Campaign for Free Enterprise. But I want to bring this back to what you can do as business leaders, community leaders. Stay informed on the issues. Write your congressman, call your congressman. Believe me, nothing is more powerful to a congressman or senator than getting a call from a local business leader saying, "What are you doing? How do we stop this thing?" We generate lots of letters to the Hill, and we do lobbying and all the rest. That's important, and that's central to our mission. But frankly, nothing is more powerful than somebody calling up their congressman and say, I employ 10 people in your district. I've known you for 20 years. I've got the pictures from junior high school. And this is dumb. This is dumb. That's powerful. Stay engaged. Be involved. Be involved in your local chamber and your state chambers. They're doing the work every day to make the environment better for you. And please consider being involved in the U.S. Chamber and our Campaign for Free Enterprise. Again, it's a story that needs to be told. It's an important story. It's a fundamental story that's important to all of our futures. And with that, I'd like to tee up the video, and then again, thank you very much, and I'm going to be available for some questions later on. Thank you.